I'm here to play a scary game for Halloween. One that will get your blood pumping. Ah, 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 ah. Hello, blah!
Hey, Mike. Are you shooting a Halloween review?
Why, yes.
Have you checked your calendar?
No? Oh man, I missed Halloween.
Yeah, sorry to have to tell you, but you're a little late.
Yeah, that would explain why my pumpkin looks so rotten.
Yeah, you should definitely clean up your pumpkins.
Well, I guess I won't be doing a Halloween review. Shoot. Shooter? Shmup! Wait a minute! If you're a big fan of shmups and the NES, Gun-Nac is a game I definitely have to recommend.
Hello? Are you there? Hello?
Remember all those great games we used to play growing up in the 80s and 90s? Most of them are sitting in an attic or garage somewhere, doing nothing but gathering dust. My opinion is, we should give them another look.
Gun-Nac is easily one of my favorite games on the NES, which is actually kind of funny because I wasn't always a big fan of shooters.
Air Fortress was the first shoot-'em-up I hadn't played as a kid. I honestly didn't find the game very enjoyable and found its lack of colors very bland. I wouldn't revisit the shoot-'em-up genre until the Super Nintendo era and R-Type. While Super R-Type definitely was a more aesthetically pleasing game with fantastic visuals and great music, I found the challenge the one-hit death created a little overwhelming for me, and this turned me off completely from the genre. Fast forward almost 20 years later, and I finally got my own Turbo Grafx 16. One of the very first games I became enamored with was Blazing Lazers, a beautiful top-down shooter with fantastic power-ups, great music, and vibrant graphics. This game was so good I did a 180 with my views on shoot-'em-ups, and I found myself looking for other fantastic games similar to Blazing Lazers.
And that, my friends, is where Gun-Nac comes into the equation. In my opinion, it's the NES equivalent of Blazing Lazers. Just with bunnies and carrots for some reason.
In the distant future, the Earth's resources have been completely depleted and its inhabitants are moving to an artificial solar system called Iota Synthetica. When all of a sudden, a mysterious wave of cosmic radiation caused ordinary inanimate objects to spring to life and attack the new residents of the artificial solar system. The Galactic Federation called upon Commander Gun-Nac to defend the solar system against impending destruction. You take the role of Commander Gun-Nac, who will pilot his ship through 8 stages, fighting the unique enemies in order to save the residents of Iota Synthetica.
I've said it once, and I'll say it again. Storyline's not that important to me in an NES game, especially not in a shooter, but it does explain the weird enemy design. Anyways, what is important is how the game plays, and Gun-Nac is a lot of fun.
I mentioned earlier that I was looking for a shoot-'em-up experience similar to Blazing Lazers on the Turbo Grafx 16, and Gun-Nac definitely lives up to that distinction. In fact, I have often told people that Gun-Nac is essentially Blazing Lazers on the NES. Both games share a number of similarities, and the gameplay is nearly identical. This should be no surprise as both games are developed by Compile, a software developer known for their outstanding shoot-'em-ups. Blazing Lazers' title in Japan is actually Gunhead, and I have often wondered if Gun-Nac is an unofficial sequel. Gun-Nac is a vertical scrolling shooter where you control a ship that has 5 primary weapons that can be switched between by collecting power-ups throughout the levels. The weapons can be further upgraded by collecting multiple power Ps until your weapon becomes a screen destroyer, which is awesome because the action on screen can become pretty hectic at times. If it becomes too hectic, you can use one of 4 variations of bombs to clear the screen. The controls are extremely responsive, and overall the gameplay is very enjoyable.
There is no doubt that the gameplay mechanic of Gun-Nac is just as solid as Blazing Lazers on the Turbo Grafx 16, but how does it compare aesthetically being on a much less powerful system?
Honestly, Gun-Nac isn't the best looking game on the NES, but for an outer space shoot-'em-up, it is incredibly well done. The game features some bright and vibrant colors that are pleasing to the eye and accentuate the experience. The enemy design is extremely well done as the characters are very well drawn and feature some impressive animations. The level design is pretty good but repetitive at times, which can be expected from a scrolling shooter. The audio is where this game really shines and features some of the very best music on the NES. The music really enhances the experience as the high-tempo beats keep your pulse pounding as you take on wave after wave of enemies.
Yeah, Gun-Nac is definitely a treat for the eyes and the ears, but as I mentioned earlier, I was always dismayed with the difficulty some shooters pose. Fortunately, Gun-Nac's challenge is just right.
Gun-Nac is your typical scrolling shooter with one-hit kills and relentless enemies attacking you from every direction. But Gun-Nac offers a lot of features that make this challenge more reasonable. First and foremost is by powering up your primary weapon to full power. My favorite is the third weapon, which is kinda like a guided boomerang. When fully powered up, it can make the game really easy at times. The next is by adding a wing to your ship, which essentially gives you an extra hit. However, when you take the hit, your weapon will return to its original power, and if you get hit and die, you lose the power completely. You can restore the wing to your ship and your weapon power between stages at the shop with money you collect in the levels. The boss fights are interesting and focus on targeting specific areas of the boss while avoiding all the other chaos on the screen. If you have saved your bombs, now is the time to use them to put away the boss quickly.
Gun-Nac is a well-controlled, great-looking game with some fantastic music and an acceptable challenge. If you can find a copy for a reasonable price, I definitely advise you to pick it up. Anyways, thank you very much for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.
He left me on the phone this whole time. Why am I even friends with this guy?